What is the perfect car? Power, safety, space, practicality, appeal, and reliability. Well, this car shook the Indian market in 2001 when it was launched. Great driving dynamics, performance, and solid build made it a hot favorite. But for some, that was not enough. They wanted more. Now, Skoda Octavia is a normal car, but what makes this crazy is that this is a stage 3 tune along with an all-wheel drive and the only Octavia that we could find with a manual swap gearbox. But what is all of that? For that, I have to make you meet a familiar face. Hi Saraf, how are you?
Good, how are you? Hi, I'm Soam Saraf from the YouTube channel The Drivers Hub, and this car is something that we've seen built before our eyes at the Mechanics Automotive.
It has an all-wheel drive system, right?
Yes.
And it also has a manual gearbox, which is a swap.
Correct.
So is it as simple as just putting out an automatic gearbox and putting in a manual one?
It's a little bit more complicated than that. So you basically, this car used to come with a DQ250 6-speed automatic gearbox. We've removed that and we've put a Golf R 6-speed manual gearbox. Technically speaking, yes, the swap is pretty much like Legos, but the difficult part is the coding and making sure all of the electronics work properly. And that's what we've basically done. This car is more or less like it's come out of the factory. Everything is OEM.
So how did you manage the Golf R gearbox? Because you don't get it in India, right?
So this gearbox and this all-wheel drive system as well has been imported into India. If you know the part numbers correctly, if you know what you're doing, it's a fairly simple process.
Soham makes the entire process seem very simple, but it is actually a very complicated job. You need a donor car, and in their case, they needed two. You need to add transfer case, rear differential, drive shaft, new suspension to handle the extra weight, a different fuel tank because the all-wheel drive system eats into the space of the fuel tank. In their case, the all-wheel drive was donated by a Golf R and the fuel tank was donated by an Octavia 4x4. And in such complicated cars, if one sensor stops working, the entire car stops working. I'm speaking from personal experience where an ABS sensor made the steering stop working in my car. So you need to do a very good job with the coding and the wiring of this complex new system. And how much would this job cost overall?
The manual swap and the all-wheel drive swap is roughly around 12.5 lakhs.
The alloy wheels, right? They're from Sparco.
Correct.
Are these real?
Yes, these are completely original. These are Sparco Assetto Gara wheels, and these cost roughly around 1.55 lakhs. As you can see, it doesn't look like anything different, but everything that has been done is kind of underneath the skin. So it's running an Audi TT downpipe, a completely custom exhaust system with Varex Valvetronic mufflers at the rear, so you can switch off the valves whenever you want it.
When the police is there, exactly.
The police is there. It's running a tune, it's running an intercooler from DO88, and in total makes roughly around 315 horsepower and 550 Newton meters of torque.
So can we hear the exhaust?
Done? Sounds good.
There are pops and bangs. How much was this exhaust for?
I think the exhaust is around 1.5 to 1.6 lakh rupees.
And can you achieve this on any car of your choice, or no, you need some custom cars?
I mean, you can technically achieve this on any sort of car.
I'm talking about Lord Alto right now.
Probably. Lord Alto can do probably anything.
Okay, so this is the magic remote, okay? So this controls both devices on both sides of the exhaust, which will make your exhaust louder or calmer. If you press on B, you will have a calmer exhaust. So when you're around the police, that will work. But when you're just thrashing the car, you press on A for a long time and the exhaust opens itself up. And then when you do the revving part, you hear the pops and bangs. So this is amazing. Okay, so now we are in the manual swap. You cannot beat the fun of a manual, man.
Yeah. It's like a old Lancer Evo, if you know what that is.
Yeah.
It's like a old Lancer Evo.
It just pulls.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man.
Yep.
The manual swap was worth it.
Yep, 100%.
Why did you choose the Octavia over any other car? I know Indians, we don't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
But you have the Mitsubishi Cedia, you have the Abarth, Punto.
Correct. So, I mean, the Octavia, like in the tuning world, is basically, especially for India, it's like the car because aftermarket support is endless. It's a practical car. You can seat 4 people. The boot is massive. If you know all of the problems that the car comes with, and honestly, this generation of Octavia is very reliable. You know, this car we've driven it 10,000 kilometers with all of these modifications. No problem. And that's the thing that us Indians also like most about these VAG cars is that it's like Legos. You can take a part from an Audi, part from...
Yes, it's an Audi underneath.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just like Legos. Take this from that. Just build something that you want.
Okay. Yes, you were saying something.
So, whatever we try to do, we want to keep it as stock as possible. So all of the parts, so this car actually has TPMS, which the stock Octavia or even the Octavia VRS did not come with. Completely OEM from Skoda. We found out the part number, we've installed it, we've coded it into the infotainment and the cluster, and it works like it's from factory. So,
and the best thing is that this car wasn't a manual, right?
It wasn't.
This was an automatic. You've installed this manual in it, and the screen shows the gear you're in.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So it's talking to the car.
Yes.
And how much fuel economy this car gives?
The thing with TSI engines is that if you're belting it like you're doing it right now, it's going to drink a lot of fuel. But if you go onto the highway and drive it like a normal person,
it will go up to 15, right?
15, 16, 17. So I've seen a lot of crazy numbers on stage 3 Octavias, and I mean, they're very efficient if you drive them properly.
And do you need any special maintenance for this, or a routine maintenance? A normal one is just fine?
Not really. You can maintain it like a normal Octavia. Maybe just keep on checking on the Haldex, like the all-wheel drive system that has been put in. But apart from that, I mean, all parts are from Skoda VW family, so it's pretty much like a stock car only.
Yeah, so the all-wheel drive is from the Golf R.
Golf R. Gearbox is from the Golf
R.
Yep.
So that is why it handles the 315 horsepower.
Correct. That's right.
Thank you.
Yes, done. It was amazing.
Now, if you thought that was crazy, here's something even crazier. This Octavia makes 400 horsepower, which is more than a Porsche Carrera. Now, it does it with a stage 3 tune. To introduce you to that, I have a gentleman with me.
Hi, my name is Tanay.
How much power does this make when it's stock?
This made 245 PS when it was stock.
At that power, it is still the fastest Skoda ever sold till date in India. And this one is pushing 400.
So I've gotten an intercooler upgrade. I've gotten a intake upgrade. And as of right now, only the turbo is changed along with the tune for the engine. So I am running new speed RSC 10 alloys. They're pretty lightweight in nature. Apart from that, I am also running Michelin Pilot Sport 5 tires. And for the braking, the rotors, the caliper and the brake disc are pretty much stock, but I'm running EBC yellow stuff brake pads. It's a type of brake pad that EBC makes. It's for better bite in braking and just better response in general.
And if you look at this car, it looks like a very normal car, right?
Yes.
There is nothing that you can suspect about this car. It is a proper sleeper, right?
Yes, it's a proper sleeper.
Pushing a car to make 400 horsepower is not an easy job. All the parts in the car like the suspension, brakes, tires are meant to handle the stock power. And 400 horsepower? Now that is sports car territory. All the parts are under more stress now, so you need to upgrade the parts, and there is also a chance that the engine might just blow up. But the Octavia handles it like a champ. Okay, so it has 2 exhausts, right?
Yep.
And there are small pops and bangs.
Map is in such a way where when I'm driving hard, that is the only time I'll get the pops and bangs. In neutral like this, it's not going to do.
You see a spoiler here? So this is for aerodynamics, right? So this car is more aerodynamic than your Lamborghini Huracan, Aventador, Bugatti Veyron, McLaren 720S and the works.
I'll just quickly show you the engine bay because that's exactly where all the magic happens. And since this is a CBU, the bonnet release
is on the left side because foreign cars are
correct.
Right?
And this is where the magic happens. That is my massive turbo behind.
Okay, yeah, it's a very huge turbo.
Yes.
So that is helping it to make 400 horsepower, right?
Yeah, and 400 is a very conservative number. This turbo is rated to up to 500 horsepower.
One interesting thing is that whenever you open the hood of a Skoda, you will see a lot of Audi parts because this this brand is owned by VW, right? And they own the Audi group and the Skoda group. So they do a lot of part sharing. And underneath, this is essentially an Audi A3. You don't really get a 400 horsepower car every day in India, right? So I'm not really going to miss the chance to drive this. So I think we need to switch places now.
Definitely. Go for it.
So one thing that I like about Skoda is the attention to detail, be it the exterior or the interior, right? And it was designed by the same guy who designed the Bugatti Veyron. Okay, so the turbo takes time to spool up, right? And then it gives you a surge of power.
Yes.
Handled.
Yeah. Good handle, bro. It snaps because इतना power है ना आगे front wheels पे. Front wheels का logic कैसा है ना, if you go anything that's over 200 horsepower ना.
But the pickup was feeling linear only.
हाँ, but वो इतना snappy है ना कि जब boost में आता है ना गाड़ी, it's got all the power that is there.
पहले इधर जा रही थी, इधर जा रही थी. So what all have you got in this car? Like when it comes to customization and performance add-ons, can you run me through them? How much they cost?
So I've got brake pads upgraded, intercooler, air intake, turbo. I've got the wheels, tires. I've got some other aesthetic bits here and there on the car.
So essentially, you've put in how much money?
I think somewhere around 13 lakhs.
Okay, so you could have bought like a new Voltus base variant for that price, right? Or a Slavia.
Yeah, but those cars just don't do it for me.
Yeah, they don't do it for the enthusiast. And how much would individually the mods cost? If you can just give us a ballpark.
So I think the intake is somewhere around maybe 80,000 to 1 lakh. I'm not too sure, can't remember too well. Then the wheels are somewhere around 1.6, 1.7. The tires alone are 1 lakh.
Okay. And how long do they last?
30,000 kilometers.
And I always say, right? You need to go fast, but stop faster.
Yes, brakes will always be something that are super important to me. So that is why the next upgrade is going to be going for a bigger brake kit. So the suspension, the Bilstein costs about again 1 lakh. Intake, I've said, turbo I think is somewhere around 1.5 lakhs. The tune for the gearbox is 1 lakh. Tune for the ECU also, if I'm not wrong, I think is close to 1 lakh only. I'm not too sure about that. And the wheel size are done, brake pads are I think somewhere around 20k. The aesthetic bits on the car, the side skirts,
the diffuser at the back.
The diffuser and the extension for the spoilers, they all come in total of about I think 1.2 lakhs.
The gearbox on these Octavias and the Superbs, right? They were infamous for like breaking down, overheating.
Correct.
Because they were the dry clutch one, right? They didn't have any oil in them, right? So they were not able to handle the 180 horsepower perfectly. So
more than the horsepower, it was the torque. So all gearboxes are rated to a certain amount of torque.
Yeah.
The DQ200 that you would get in the Octavias, and I think they were known for failure.
Yes.
But this one does not get that. This one gets the DQ381. It's a 7-speed gearbox again. And this is the same gearbox you get in the Golf Mark 7.5 abroad.
The turbo is so big, there is a big turbo delay.
Yeah. You
but once it comes, we know what just happened a while.
Yeah.
We were scared for the car's life more than our life, right?
Yeah. My biggest thing that I want to change immediately, once I have the money for it, is to go all-wheel drive on this car.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. It's a simple, straight fit. It's like Lego. There's no nonsense towards it.
And how much would that cost?
Anywhere between 10 to 12 lakhs.
That's an expensive hobby, man.
Yeah.
And what's the fuel economy on this car?
If I drive seriously, I get anywhere between 5-6.
Not that bad for a 400 horsepower car.
Yeah, not bad at all. I'm sure I can get more. And if I'm driving hard, 4.5, 5 depends on where I'm driving.
Only 200 of the VRS were sold in India, and we have 2 of those. And ironically, Octavia is the highest selling model by Skoda in the world. Now these 2 were crazy cars, and if you want to see more such crazy cars, follow Mashable.